This was going to be basically angels, but D&D only has 3 of them, and not a whole divine hierarchy. So Celestials are all shiny people who live in the kingdoms up above, but not literally above. It's just a weird metaphor. They aren't gods, they're more like regional managers and couriers all hired by the gods, or from the blood of gods, or God's dreams, or born as bastard children. Gods work weird. Gods don't usually mess around with mortal stuff unless the whole world is going to collapse, but your player characters usually take those jobs up, so Celestials are rare outside of heaven. The thing that Celestials are known by is what god they serve or which job they quit. Even though they're all powerful lords of absolute goodness and purity, they're all capable of turning into assholes. Also, everything from heaven is attractive. Go figure. Celestials aren't as orderly as fiends, so I'll describe them in a somewhat random order. The most powerful and deadly Celestials, aside from the f***ing gods, are Empyreans. They used to be called Titans, which I honestly think is a little bit cooler, but they're essentially extremely tall and moody versions of Jesus. They were created to be avatars of the gods, and are only one step down the line from being gods themselves. DMs who want to kill gods, maybe use a stat block like this one here. They run around doing God's will and experiencing mood swings that literally shake the very fabric of reality. If one goes rogue, it can pretty much do whatever it wants. Best case scenario for an evil Titan is to have a good Titan come fight him while Duel of Fates plays in the background. That way only everyone on the continent dies, which is better than the alternative. They're so damn powerful if you rub one the wrong way, you will not survive. If you manage to kill it once, it just respawns at home, and then comes to kill you again. Most outsiders do this, I know, but I feel like it stands out for an outsider this strong. Also, they're beautiful. To describe angels, they're like God's police. All of them are lawful good, even the ones who work for chaotic gods. Angels act like prideful military generals, who work for their country and what that country stands for, no matter what the cost. They're so adamantly devoted to lawful goodness that they can become massive dicks about it. If an angel's big dick energy oversteps its bounds, it can get fired in an instant and left as an exile. Let's take a look at the 3 types of angels. First you have devas, the couriers and undercover cops of God. They stick around common problem joints like the vanilla world, the fancy world, and the upside down. Devas sneak around in disguises and deliver messages, or spread happiness and all that good shit. A fallen deva, this is a spoiler, ends up in Curse of Strahd and does some really weird shit. These Martian Manhunter people are some of the most badass angels in the book. They fly around as omens of goodness and death, sending down either waves of water or hordes of locusts on the villagers, either for fun or because they deserve it, but who's to tell. Their hobbies include feeding the hungry and slaughtering fiends. Solar angels are like reality sentinels. These guys are so badass they only have 2 job options: be the bodyguard and close friend of a god, or sit in the thinking man pose for several eons until reality begins to quake. Like Empyreans, if one doesn't like you, you have about 6 seconds to live. I think out of every Celestial, Ki-rin have to be the most good. They're like the antithesis of Absol, as seeing one always brings good luck. These giant scaly grandpa horses sit at the tops of mountains in fancy temples and tell people karate is not the way of a true hero. Couatls are fancy Mayan snakes that fly around and speak in riddles. They guard ancient treasures and secrets, but have a hard time doing so because they can't lie. So you ask them what they're guarding and they just kinda awkwardly sit there until you go away. They're task keepers of a dude who died before time started, and I don't think they reproduce. Actually, I think they're going extinct. Shit. Unicorns are also apparently Celestials and not fairies, which is weird because most of them just hang out in the Fae and protect Fae things from evil Fae. Unicorns are territorial, and their forests give them a healthy home field advantage when fighting evil. Sometimes, when a princess or some fabulous dude who's okay with riding a unicorn takes up a task for the sake of good, the gods send them a horned horse. I love the image of a 300-pound half-orc barbarian, armed to the teeth with bloodied blades, riding a pretty unicorn. The only other Celestial we have to work with are the Pegasus. You know, that dog from Disney's Hercules. They fly around at supersonic speed to avoid contact with anything. They're a bunch of unmountable cowards, but if you get through the tooth-grinding process of taming one, you get a late-game mount for life. In the old editions, they also had animal people who hated evil, these 3 things who use the name I use, and the elves from Mordenkainen's. There isn't a whole lot of detail about the upper planes, but I'm sure they've got a book in the works that'll help us good Christian boys understand just what's up there. But until then, that's basically Celestials.